It's a goal! Can you believe it? It's extraordinary!
Welcome back to the show. Lovely to have you with us. Lovely to have Melbourne Blight and Lee Matthews with us. Absolute treasures of the game, and we are very, very lucky to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
It's a joy, yeah.
Both legends of the game. We've said that 15 times. Yep. But just for some of our younger viewers who may have tuned in and they don't actually immediately recognise one of the greatest in the game, you'll probably know him as this, Malcolm Blight, Caraman Salzman. We like to put things in context, Blighty.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful theme. Keep it up. It's great.
Hey, Blighty, we need to
Is Noel at least West Indian? Is
No.
Can he do the limbo?
Yes, you can.
Hey, Blighty, a couple of weeks ago, North Melbourne celebrated their 150th anniversary, and they nominated their top 10 players of all time, and it was an absolute honour for you, I'm sure, to be elected in the number of the top 10, and you came in at number 6. So I mean, it's an enormous honour. Carey, Greg, Dench, Aylett, Harvey, then Blighty. You've been a couple of handy ones into 6th spot too. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
I didn't realise it on the night, but one of the most scariest things, of course, you get a player number at your club, not your Guernsey number, but your order of play from 1925 at North Melbourne. Guess what my player playing number was? 666.
Oh, that's spooky.
Noel's Caravan. 66. And then you were player number 6.
Yeah.
Ranked 6.
Yeah, and ran 6 a lot of times.
Now, I'm going to say it. I don't think that's high enough. I had over you at least top 4 at North. You would have yourself higher than that, no doubt.
Probably humility would have one time stopped me from saying that, but yes, you're right.
Where would you have him, Lee? Would you have him in the North Melbourne firmament? Step way in on this.
I've said it for a long time, Wayne Carey's the best player I've ever seen, but Blighty be second.
There you go. That's high praise from one of the greats.
We know that you're still
Is it too late to change it? Can we give him a call or something?
No, because it fixes up that 666 bit.
You're still one of the absolute you're one of the most powerful voices in South Australian football. We know that, and you've had a fair bit to say about the Adelaide review that's going to be conducted. There's been some news out of Adelaide today with Taylor Walker relinquishing captaincy. Your thoughts on that? Good call from
I heard what he said, and he made it all sound sense. He's had a couple of average years, I suppose, and so just now go and concentrate on footy. I think it's a good call.
You're critical of the external review. I can fix footy in Adelaide in one fell swoop, and this is really simple. Merge the Crows with Port Adelaide. Please don't send your hate mail to me.
It'll come in.
I'll put that on the table.
Would you put that on the table? It'd be great.
Hey, you and Lee were September superstars, and you had some great mentors and coaches, some great teammates. You played a lot of September footy under Ron Barassi, who was, in the eyes of many, kind of Mr. September. I mean, he was a passionate man, a passionate coach. He was an angry coach at times, Brass. Did he coach well when he coached angry? I mean, have a look at him here. He's on crutches. I've
never seen an angry man on crutches before.
Have a look at him when he gets out to the huddle here. He's absolutely fuming.
Yeah, 5 of us got him before the game. We didn't want him to come out, but look what he found, the crutches.
Can you remember this day?
Yeah, I can.
What was he filthy about?
We were probably losing.
Okay, right, that'll do.
That's the second, I have to say, that's the second most angry man I've ever seen on crutches. Here's the angriest. Plugger.
Yeah, that was at the tribunal, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Did you just to go back quickly? But was Brass good for you, Blighty?
Yeah, he was actually. He was a very demanding coach, but that was the way it was done then, and had great success. I mean, he was a great coach.
Think about great coaches, Barassi for you, and Lee. Of course, you had the great John Kennedy as your one of your premiership coaches. Your relationship with him?
The relationship was good, but it was a coach-player relationship. I mean, we only trained Tuesday, Thursdays, no one-on-one communication in those days, none of that stuff. And he was a hard man. I used to almost have nightmares about him for a couple of years there.
You used to have nightmares against him?
Yeah, and then seriously, after a few years, I thought, no, it's my problem, not his.
That's a good point.
Initially, I thought he was a hard man, too hard. Yeah.
Did he coach angry, Lee? Like we see Barras used to, get quite personal.
No, not that emotionally angry. He just was a hard man. I mean, high demands, very little praise, and a lot of and a lot of just keeping jumping on you all the time. Anyway, that was the way I found him in my early days in the early 70s.
Yeah. Well, I tell you how hard a man he was, Blight. When after the 71 grand final, the players wanted to they wanted to chair him off. Now, if John Kennedy didn't want to be chaired off, then he wasn't going to be chaired off, by the way.
Look at that.
Don's
Get off me, yep.
No, I'm not going to be chaired. There you are, top of screen, look. Is that the worst chair off in the history of the game?
But seriously, that is typical John Kennedy of never putting himself before the team. Yeah. He was a total team person, and that's what he taught us all. That was the greatest lesson that he ingrained into all his players. So he wasn't going to be the spotlight by being lifted above those shoulders.
You may be afraid of John Kennedy, but I have a feeling John Kennedy may be afraid of heights. He just did not want anything to do with it.
We hear about team rules all the time, you both, so I'll direct this to you to begin with, Blighty. But coaching champion and superstar individuals, did you have different rules for the real great ones? And I know you invested a lot in your great players. Gary Ablett, for example, did you have to treat him a bit differently?
Senior.
Go on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I suppose, yes, that's true. One of the interesting things happened was Gary would sometimes miss Sunday morning training and had some duties down the road. So this particular game, I got all the senior players in after he didn't turn up one Sunday, and I spoke to him on the Monday night, got them all ready, and I said, now listen, I'm going to have to make a decision on Gary and his future. If he's not going to come here training on Sundays, you know, I'm going to have to move him on. Yep. He just kicked 14 against Richmond at the MCG the day before.
Oh, don't worry, I've seen all Gary Ablett's best games.
Yeah, and it was. So the boys, the senior player group, I used to get him in occasionally, they voted that he stays. So I was happy with that.
That first goal that we saw there where he ran around at Waverley and Paul Hamilton, is it true? Is it a truth? Was he practising that move on the team bus on the way to the ground?
No.
Oh, well, there goes that.
Okay, can I give a is it true in one of the finals, I think it was before Essendon was out at Waverley, before he kicked a big bag, he hardly ever spoke to the other players, and then just before he ran out the field, he gathered them all together and said, hey, guys, kick it to me. Because he knew he was on that day. No, it's actually got a bit confused, that story. What actually happened was going to get Gary to start on the wing and not start at full forward, so it confused the opposition. So I told him 8 times before the game, start on the wing, and the last man out goes, don't forget about starting on the wing. Go up the coach's box. Guess who's at full forward, not on the wing? that is the true story. That is the true story.
Blighty, that's your strategy for coaching the superstars. What about you, Lee? Did you have a different rule for your superstars? Did you coach individuals or a team?
Well, I wasn't too keen on players as having shots from the acute angle unless they were Peter Dacos or Jason Ackermanis. I was happy for them. Have a shot from anywhere.
But not on the angle.
No, anywhere. Because those two,
that's
I mean, but players in general didn't like them having shots from the boundary line on the acute angle.
What about this guy? Would you have let this guy have a shot from the boundary line, and not only just a shot, but a torpedo?
Have a look at this.
Have a look at this. That is Malcolm.
What are you doing, man?
That is now. That's
longer than the other one.
It is.
That's a better kick. That's a better goal.
Oh, yeah, sensational.
That's a way better goal.
Would you have allowed that?
Isn't it true, Barras, that Barras got you to go back at training the following week to see how many times out of 10 you could kick a particular kick? Didn't he do that once?
Yeah, that was after the shot from the boundary line on the left foot check side.
Yeah. That's what I mean. But so what happened? How did you get out of the 10?
I got 4 out of 10, hit the post twice and never not scored. And he was going to make me do 20. This is true. He was going to make me do 20. He said, oh, that's crap. Just get out.
How would you have gone coaching Blighty and how would you have gone coaching Lee, do you reckon? Lee, you first.
Just go and let him play.
Yeah?
Yep.
Blighty?
Oh, yeah, I would have let him play over there.
It would have been great to see.
Team rules, man.
I've got a quick one for you, Lee. Is it true, it comes up a bit, that you put a ban on your players having sex in January because it meant they may miss finals if they have a baby?
See, people are laughing. This was serious because Daniel Bradshaw, one of our players, missed a final because his wife Angie went into labour the night before, I think it was a semi-final in, must have been 2000 or something like that. So you don't want to have...
OK. How did you police that, Lee? What were you doing?
A lot human beings looking through windows, knocking on windows and stuff like that.
No unprotected sex January. It's not exactly November, is it? Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Hey, can I just say, by the way, that Andy hasn't had sex during January for the last 30 years. How would you have gone with that? Would you have done that to your players?
No,
would you have imposed it? What if there was no one else involved?
I would have had to take the
Is there any loopholes here?
Hey, I'd have to take the hypocritical oath.
Fine for the coaching staff, just not for the players.
We have a segment we love on this show, and it's called Fresh from the Archives.
Here we go. Just going to focus on you for a second, Blighty, because
this is special.
We love going through the archives and finding stuff. Your coaching, you talked about Barras, and clearly some of that stuff passed on because you're a fearsome coach and you never died wondering, knowing what you were thinking at any given time. I'm going to play you two bits. One, people may have seen before. This is Riccardi getting roughed up, I'd say at the quarter-time huddle. Have a look at you here, grab him by the jumper. That's the first time I've ever seen a coach jumper punch a player. Can you tell me what was going on?
I was just explaining, with your tackle, you've got to get it down lower, not up high.
Okay, good.
Of course you were.
Lee, do you buy that for a second?
Don't buy that.
No.
But I think you were both cut with the same cloth when it comes to coaching. But now this one is rarer. And I think
we've never seen this, Andy. This is amazing.
This is the first time I've seen this, especially with sound, and it's an Adelaide Grand Final, 97,
yep.
half-time. You're down. Fair to say you're not that happy, in particular with a couple of your players, like your ruckman, Sean Wren. Have a listen to how you handle the situation.
You leader! You go back in the middle this time, and you are going to jump over that bloke. Not contributing. Not getting this far and giving it up. You only get one crack! You help him, Benny. You talk to him. You tell him we're not playing one shot.
You just wander off.
Jeez, that's pretty amazing.
That is incredible footage.
I just can't believe they, 20 years ago, they bleeped out the word bloody. Bloody was not a good word to say there.
Blighty, you were 13 points down at half-time, but you seemed furious.
Yeah, there's a few things probably didn't go right. Can I just say, in the second half...
How'd you go?
The Adelaide Football Club kicked 14 goals straight in the second half to win the game. 14 goals straight. There was only one rush point. It's an amazing stat. Thank you for bringing that up and showing me that.
But it is amazing, and I think it's fair to say that wouldn't fly. You wouldn't see a coach doing that today. It's just something that's no longer considered a legitimate tool of a coach, is it?
No.
To tip furniture over and...
Probably not, but I mean, the word bloody is probably not used as much these days.
Of course not.
I've got to be honest, I think the power of your message was slightly offset by your baggy pants. But anyway... It did the job. It did the job. That's you where we could see it. Can you confirm that is more like a traditional spray, a halftime spray that we grew up with?
Yeah.
Can you give us one of your more unconventional methods of motivating your players?
There was a number that people thought that perhaps you were doing something different, but you'd thought through it most of the times. For instance, I just asked them to bring a rug to the footy. We're actually playing Richmond at the MCG again.
Oh, yeah, well, it worked.
And we just put the towel around it like we were Indians, and going out to the big war and big war dance and all that sort of stuff. And it worked.
That worked? What about the one with when you turn off the lights?
Oh, yeah, at Football Park. Yeah, we couldn't...
What's this one?
Well, what actually happened, in the coaching room at half-time, we're down again. So I just walked in. There's a very small room at Football Park then. I was coaching Geelong. And as I walked through the door, I don't know what made me do it. I just shut the door and turned the light off. And then just started prowling and screaming. And about 3 or 4 minutes later, after I'd said a few probably naughty words, I've turned the light back on and half the team...
Hey, we're going to get a break out of the way. We're here for the Brew Fresh coming up. Can we get you two to trade places in the ad break? So we'll be here.